Hey guys, it's Terry here with Notary to Notary, and I want to talk to you guys about loan closing appointments. Have you ever been in a loan closing and saw a term that you had no idea what it meant? Let's go over a few common ones and see if you know what these mean. Have you ever seen the term rescission period? A rescission period is basically a period where the client or the signer has time to cancel their loan. So for example, most commonly in refinances, the borrower will have a 3-day right to cancel. So they have a 3-day rescission period. So if they sign on one day, they have 3 days to then let their loan officer know or their lender know they no longer want to continue with the loan. That's their right to rescind or cancel that loan. Have you seen the term note? So the note is the borrower's promise to pay. So it's basically their agreement saying, hey, I'm gonna pay you back the amount of money we agreed upon. That's always in pretty much every loan closing you're gonna see. The note will tell you the terms of the repayment, the interest rate, when the payments are due, and if there's any prepayment penalties or late payment charges. So the note is really important in a loan closing transaction. How about the term escrow? So in relation to loan closings, an escrow account is an account that is set up by the title officer or the attorney where the borrower is going to pay funds into that account. Now, the purpose of that account is so the money in there can be used to pay outside sources such as property insurance, homeowners insurance, property taxes, things like that. And the reason why it's set up there is that if the borrower doesn't pay, let's say property taxes, the city or the county can take that property, and that is like interferes with the lender and the borrower's agreement. So they set up an escrow account so those funds are put in there and they're always available to pay those outside providers. I hope that wasn't too complicated. The big one that I'm sure you guys see, and if you have done any loan closings, I'm sure you've heard questions all the time, closing costs. So what are closing costs? Closing costs are the amount that the borrower is paying to close on that transaction. So a lot of things go into closing costs, such as origination fees, appraisal fees, notary closing fees. All of those go into the closing costs, and they're always found on the closing disclosure at the very bottom. The last term I'm going to give you is the deed. So the deed is actually a little bit complicated, but I'm going to try to make it really simple. The deed just shows who has an interest in the property. So typically when you're doing a refinance, you're going to see the borrowers that are taking the loan out to purchase the property and the lender, because they both have an interest in the property. The deed, when you do a deed transfer, it's just basically showing who the property is being conveyed to, who has an interest in the property, and the deed really just tells you if anything happens, what are the terms as far as how the property gets conveyed. So like if the borrower doesn't pay their note, that stuff is spelled out in the deed. So who has an interest in the property. So you can make it kind of simple. The deed can be a little complicated too. But if you've ever taken a title producer's course, that will really break down the different types of deeds that are out there. I hope these common loan terms help you at your next loan closing. And for more helpful tips and training, visit me online at notarytonotary.com. And until next time, happy signing!